guys, Jack Roble here, otherwise known as Crash Affinity on the forums and YouTube. Decided to take my beaver for a long-range flight today. I've got a Flyzone beaver. It's a fairly short-range plane, but I stuck in two 2200 batteries on it, and decided to go for a nice long flight. I'm using 1.3 gigahertz video from ready-made RC, 800 milliwatt transmitter. I believe I have a cloverleaf from IBCRAZY on the plane as well. What else? Crosshair on the ground station, and I'm recording the feed using a little HK DVR, the silver one. I think it's around 45 bucks. It's not the greatest quality, but the nice thing about it is that it doesn't hang on static, and I don't have any time sync issues when mixing videos with it. Obviously, I'm flying with Dragonlink. I've had it sitting on my bench for about a year. I figured, you know what, about time I started using it. You do see the Dragonlink RSSI on the bottom right. It's at 99% right now, and I've been getting pretty rock steady results with it. Just using the included antennas, nothing special. Skylark Trace OSD here. There is no return to home on this thing, so if I lose control, I'm going to be pretty sad. However, this is why I pick areas to fly in where there's nothing around. I'm past the industrial area in Summerland here. Below there, you could actually see we just missed it there. That's the landfill area. I'm just doing a quick turnaround here to check my video. I'm almost 2 kilometers away, and everything's looking pretty good. My goal is to actually fly between the two mountains here. You see that area off in the distance. I don't actually know what's there. It's some kind of industrial area, I think. But that's basically my goal. That's where I'm flying now. Steadily gaining altitude as well. I've been learning, as everybody else learns, you want to keep your Fresnel, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, Fresnel zones clear. The lower the frequency, the bigger the zone that you need. But everything's going well, and today I decided, hey, you know what? Let's shoot over there. Let's fly over there. My previous record was 4 kilometers, flying to the exact same spot with my Super Sky Surfer. That time I was using 5.8 gigahertz video. Similar setup. I had a crosshair on the ground. Only a 500 milliwatt transmitter on the plane though, but by the time I got up to 4 kilometers, the video was extremely fuzzy and I had to use my return to home to get back. I did some recent ground tests with the 1.3 video here, and I got some fairly solid links at 11 kilometers, so I was feeling a little gutsy today and decided to give it a shot. So here we are, we're over 3 kilometers, we're getting to that peak there, getting up over 650 meters here. RSSI link is dropping a little bit, and it could simply be because my antenna, you'll notice in the tail view, I've got the ground portion of the antenna taped to the wing in a nice vertical, but the ground portion just kind of dangles, and I'm sure my reception could be improved a little bit if I set that up properly. Here I'm just doing another circle pass to check my video before I continue on. You'll notice that on my left side there I've got my ground speed ladder. In this particular area, once you start to get into this altitude and a bit above, you really start hitting the higher air currents, and they actually can be pretty strong up there. And this is the same mistake I made last time when I flew up here. I wasn't paying attention to my ground speed. Now, the Beaver cruises about 40-45 kilometers an hour. It's not a very fast plane. So here my ground speed is hitting 90, and I didn't even notice. I'm flying away in a tailwind, which is the one thing you should never do, because getting back is going to be real fun. So here I am, oblivious to my situation, and here, right above this point, is probably where I decide to kind of turn around, almost 4.4 kilometers away. And again, I'm still in quite a tailwind here. So I'm going to slowly start turning back here. And you'll know, keep an eye on the ground speed. It's going to go down pretty low here. So at one point we're actually going to hit 0. Now here's the trick. Watch the distance at the bottom. 4.56 kilometers. No, it's going back up. Here's two things that, here's a couple things. Okay, so I'm actually pointed more or less home. My distance is increasing, and you'll notice that my heading on the bottom with the arrow is telling me to turn around to go home, and that should have been my first clue that something's wrong. What's actually happening here is I am traveling backwards at about 90 kilometers an hour at this point. All right, the headwind is that strong. My ground speed is showing actually in reverse. Okay, so a bit of a problem here. You notice my distance is still going up, and at this point I'm still slowly starting to figure out what's going on because I'm remembering the problem I ran into last time. So I basically decide here in a second to basically lose as much altitude as I can, as quickly as I can, to get into the lower air currents and, well, basically hopefully get back home. I'm already at almost 3,000 milliamp hours. My maximum here is 4,400, the absolute max. So I'm already 4.6 kilometers away, and I don't have much battery left. So at this point, you'll see I'm reducing my altitude as quickly as I can. I have started to get forward movement again, even though fairly slow. And so at this point, I'm freaking out a little bit, but I am moving forward, so there is some progress. And at this point, I'm considering, should I ditch my plane in this area? Because if I do, at least I can, go get it. At this point, I'm really not sure if I'm going to have enough battery to make it back. Signal, all the signals are rock solid. The video is great. Dragonlink RSSI is great. So at this point, I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. Do I need to ditch the plane or not? Now, I've already lost about 300 meters here. So I'm hoping, if you take a quick look here, we've already descended through the windiest areas. I'm getting 40 kilometers or so per hour ground speed. So now we're getting back to where I should be. So I've gotten out of the higher air currents. So at this point, I'm no longer freaking out. I know exactly what's going on, and basically I'm just taking my time and slowly getting back and trying to conserve as much battery as possible. Alright, so I'll leave you guys with the rest of the video. At one point, the forward Mobius cam does run out of juice because I forgot to charge it properly before the flight. And it'll just switch over to the tail view. Anyways, everything was pretty much uneventful toward the end of the flight here. I ended up getting home with maybe 5% battery to spare. And I'll tell you next time, I'll be a little more careful in planning my flight and make sure to fly into the headwind on the beginning of the flight. Enjoy, guys. Have a good one.